Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, Iron Warrior gives us prototype images of a Transformers Prime Optimus Prime. Toy World announces their take on a G1 Predaking, and Gears and Warpath are getting the G1 reissue treatment. Today is Wednesday, January 16th, 2019, and this is episode 312 of Transmissions.
Hurry now. My name is Arish, and I host the Letterkenny Podcast at letterkennypodcast.com. It's about the hit streaming show Letterkenny, available in Canada on Crave and in the US on Hulu. Now, if you're not able to get those services, you really should listen to the podcast, where I go through each episode, give a synopsis, my review, plus some interesting facts about each episode. I even go through some of the show's specific terms you might not be familiar with, like Tilly Time or a Donnybrook. You can learn what it takes to have a super soft birthday party, or what even those two guys did with the ostrich. Allegedly. Anyways, we just finished season 1. As a result, we're celebrating by having a Twitter contest, and we are giving away the Letterkenny DVD collection, which contains seasons 1 to 5, plus 3 bonus episodes. So pitter patter and get at her, subscribe to the Letterkenny Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. You can reach me on Twitter, at LetterkennyPod, or at letterkennypodcast.com. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to distribute some free literature. That commercial was so fucking pathetic, bud, you gotta give your balls a tug. Fuck you, Shorzy.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that knows when you're on the road to the big podcast championship, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And we just got rid of 2. I'm your host, Jeremy, aka Yakko. I'm joined by the other half of the excellent Transmissions team, Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, let's talk Transformers.
We are down 2. Charles is on assignment. That's what he said. And Yoshi is, I don't know where Yoshi is. He's out somewhere yelling at the sky or something.
Likely.
We're here. We're going to get started. And unfortunately, we're starting with some sad news. Actor William Morgan Shepherd, who played Archibald Witwicky in the 2007 Transformers movie, has passed away. He was the descendant that found Megatron in the ice. Wish his family well.
He was 86, so I mean, he had a good life.
He's also been in like Star Trek series, Doctor Who, stuff like that. So he had a good career. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it doesn't say like what he passed away from, but like you said, he is 86. So anyway, we are going to move on. Unfortunately, no new donations this week. I think that could be why Yoshi didn't show up, maybe. But we do have merch available. If you go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop, it'll take you to our TeePublic store, and you can get some great Transformers or other pop culture shirts there, and that'll help us out. And they have all sorts of designs, and people have been really, really loving the quality since we moved to TeePublic. So go check them out, and that's a great way to help us out. So with all that stuff out of the way, let's move on to some toy news.
Wow, you got through that way faster than Charles does.
you get rid of the dead weight. Plus, I don't have the script that he uses.
That's true. All right. Well, we're going to start off this week with a new statue. This is from 3A. Although I don't know whether they actually do statues. This might be just. Were they statues or just highly articulated figures?
The statues that we saw at TFCon.
Okay, I wondered if they were statues or not. Just they were figures, but I guess they're statues. Anyway, we've got 3A Deluxe Blitzwing and Bumblebee that have been revealed. These are from the Bumblebee movie, so they are the new designs. And I gotta say, this Blitzwing design is gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. There's so much detail in this thing. Like, there's individual weld marks on it. It's so detailed. I'm very impressed with this thing. I want to put this up on the shelf, and I don't care that it's called Blitzwing. This is a movie Starscream for me. Absolutely stunning. This piece is. I don't know what your opinions are on it, Jeremy, but this thing is absolutely brilliant. What do you think?
We have our stance on statues, but I think with this, seeing how articulated it is, and they actually advertise it as a collectible figure, not a statue. So I think that makes it more okay. And like you said, this is a great movie Starscream.
Yes, 51 points of articulation.
Yeah, and it's 10.5 inches tall. That's so it's great, and I love like all the different poses you could put him in. They have one where he's like sitting on his knee on one leg, and then the other leg is kind of sitting up. Like he's just kind of squatting, and it looks like when you don't have to do the transformation, you can make it really poseable. Mm-hmm. But it looks really nice, and you can. I mean, it's really strange for a character that has so little screen time. But I guess they realize that people want it for the Starscream pack.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I kind of want this. Is that wrong?
No, I mean, we saw the 3A stuff at TFCon, like I said, and they do high quality stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the problem is the price point. This is going to be $200.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's no chance it's not going to be 200 or more.
Well, no, it's in the story here. It's $200.
Oh, well, there you go. See? I was right.
Yeah, so... But, I mean, it is officially licensed, and you've got some LED lights in there. It's a high-quality figure. I mean, there is a market for people that collect these things, but if you have $200 to blow on a Transformer, I figure you're going to go the third-party route and get something that actually transforms.
That's usually my stance. But on the same token, there is also a Bumblebee in this as well. Now, Bumblebee was the titular character of this movie, and his figure here is also no slouch as far as the look and feel and articulation. I just don't get the same like wow factor from the Bumblebee that I do from the Blitzwing. Are you getting the same kind of feeling? It looks great, don't get me wrong. I really like the look of it, but it's just there's something it's not as awesome.
Well, I mean, you get a Beetle versus a jet plane.
Yeah, I guess
jet planes are more awesome, but also there's the size difference. But I think wasn't this one of the ones that we saw at TFCon?
The Bumblebee? I'm not sure.
I think it was.
I only remember the Megatron.
But it this thing looks good. I mean, the design from the movie was really, it was a nice design. Mm-hmm. And from my understanding, they actually got access to some of the CAD files from the movie.
They'd have to have.
Because their stuff is always screen accurate. So I think it's a great Bumblebee, but like you said, it just doesn't have that wow factor.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on, there is another topic that I wanted to talk about. Jeremy, you like the Legend scale stuff, right?
I do.
Is there any time when you're messing around with them that you think, you know what, I wish these things could sit at a bar?
All the time. Well,
you're in luck. Zeta Toys is coming out with a Legend scale Cybertronian bar, complete with...
Now I can recreate all my favorite Cheers scenes.
Exactly.
With Transformers.
Complete with stools and bottles and cups and trays and all kinds of crazy crap. It's a fun little piece for your diorama. It's made in scale with the Legends figures. I just think it's kind of a fun, crazy thing to have for that scale. You're not going to see this kind of thing for a Masterpiece scale collection because it's just too big. But Legends scales, they work. There's, according to the story here, it does say that it includes 2 bar chairs, 3 tables, 1 bottle, 4 cups, 1 tray, 1 music player, which is a tiny sound wave, and a Decepticon throne. So there you have it.
Which is blurred out in the pictures.
Can't exactly use the Decepticon logo the way it is. But I guess if it arrives to your house looking like that, there's one picture that has Starscream sitting in it, and you can pretty much make it out, but yeah.
I'm wondering. That's the only question I have about this set, because that is what will get the Hasbro lawyers on you. Other than that, I think it's great. I mean, the little mini sound wave as a music player is a nice touch. My biggest problem with this whole thing though is the color, because this is great for a Decepticon type bar, but if I wanted to like recreate swerves, it needs to be brighter colors to match, the whites on the ship of the Lost Light. Sure. So I do see them releasing this in white in the future.
Mm-hmm. And now the first story in the thread here for it, or the first post, I'm sorry, does have a test of the Decepticon throne where they're testing the LEDs, and you do get a much better look of the look at the throne there. It looks pretty badass, actually.
Yeah, that does look great.
So I don't have any pricing on this thing yet. I might take a look and see about picking this thing up. I expect it to be over $50.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep your lookout. Keep your eyes peeled for something like this if you're interested.
Are all the legend scales from the various companies about the same size though?
Generally, yeah.
So like if you had some Iron Factory figures, it would fit in with this.
Yeah. I mean the Starscream is Iron Factory. In fact, most of them here are Iron Factory in this display.
Okay.
I don't know if the DX9 should fit. They shouldn't have any problem. The only ones that I haven't messed with are Magic Square. Yeah, they should all pretty much fit. And I got one more for us here, since we're picking up the slack for the missing compadres here. The last one here is a new company, third-party company. It's called Iron Warrior, and it's might be their fifth figure, but I've never heard of these guys before. But so it's IW-05. It's called Pioneer, and it's their version of Transformers Prime Optimus Prime. This is an interesting idea because this would be the first third-party take on a Transformers Prime character. I know there's been a lot of add-on kits and whatnot, but this is a full-on done figure redoing a Transformers Prime character. There are some really good official Transformers Prime figures, especially those first edition Voyagers for Optimus. But this thing here has some really, really great posability to it, and it comes with the gun, comes with the sword, and it comes with, what is it, the Star Saber, I think is what they call it.
Yeah. Yeah,
they've got some really great articulation on this thing. I'm not able to tell what size class it is. It does appear to be pretty big, so I'm going to assume it's Masterpiece scale. Jeremy?
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah. I mean, on the legs, they actually do go ahead and give it the double tire, like the double wheels on the legs that a standard transport truck would have. That's not done very often.
Right. Well, just looking at the hands, you don't get articulated hands like that.
No.
Outside of Masterpiece.
No. So, what are your opinions on this, Jeremy? This is, it's a fairly new style. I mean, Transformers Prime is not that old in the grand scheme of things, but here's third party taking a stab at it.
I like it. It's I enjoyed Transformers Prime. I like their take on the movie aesthetic, where it's more simplified. The biggest issue I see with this is the chest windows seem a little bit too high from some of these pictures.
Mm-hmm. Like
when you're looking at him from the top, you don't really notice it as much. But if you're looking at him straight on or from the bottom, you just seem a little high. Mm-hmm. So you move those down a little. He seems a little thin in like the waist and the upper legs.
Yeah.
But you get this stylized take on these figures. They do make up for it with the swords, though, because the swords are gigantic and they're very detailed, and I really like what they did there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is a nice figure.
I want to make it clear. I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning, or I may have said it wrong. But this is non-transformable. So it is not a Transformer per se. Yeah. It kind of
I guess
sucks.
that makes, I wish that it was transformable, but now you can see why they did the whole double wheels and stuff, because they didn't have to figure out how to make all that work.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I kind of glazed over the story there, as I tend to do, and was kind of more excited about the pictures because they looked so freaking awesome. Yeah, it's too bad. The original, like I said, the Voyager scale one from first edition Transformers Prime does fully transform and does turn out to be, a really damn good looking robot mode as well. So perhaps they could have taken inspiration from that and just kind of beefed up the size class and put some cooler shit in there. But they wanted to. It looks like they wanted to make a much more polished figure here, and they've done that. It's just they've stepped up the articulation. Looks like.
Yeah, I am wondering though if it's not transforming, if they would try to get some sort of official license.
Maybe,
because that seems to be the biggest sticking point with Hasbro.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that's all I brought to the show this week. What do you got, Jeremy?
Well, the first thing I have is an update on the Hasbro Toy Shop situation. You can place orders on Hasbro Toy Shop through January 17th.
Okay.
And as of January 18th at midnight Eastern Time, no new purchases can be made. But in February, they're going to be launching a new e-commerce site. So no more update on what that is at this point, but they say that it's going to be a curated selection of brands and products. So I would expect like some exclusives that you can't get anywhere else. But they also have their presence on Amazon and Walmart. So I'm wondering if those are going to stick around. I would think they would, particularly because those are the two biggest retailers in the world pretty much. But we'll keep following this. Not really that much more to say. And just hopefully their Canadian shipping gets better, right?
Yeah, I don't imagine so. I think they've probably got a situation that they like with the shipping that they use, and they'll probably end up sticking with that, which is unfortunate. But yeah, every now and then I wouldn't mind a nice little treat like they gave us recently with free shipping.
All right. The next thing I have is we have images of the new G1 Gears and Warpath reissues. I don't know if we were expecting these, but they are pretty accurate to their original toys. And did the original reissues that they put out, like the Bumblebee and stuff, did they have the old Hasbro logo on the front?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I didn't notice that until I saw these, and they have the old logo. But Warpath is one that I had as a kid, and I just mine is so loose now just from transforming back and forth. So it's nice to see him get reissued, and Gears is just another of the mini bots. So are you interested in either of these?
Well, Warpath is just an awesome figure. Gears, I have like 4 of them because I keep finding them in like dollar bins and stuff like that. But Warpath is just an awesome little guy. I might have to pick one up just because he's so kick-ass. Also, he's voiced by Alan Oppenheimer, and you got to get him, to sign that if you can.
Yeah, he makes the convention rounds.
Oh yeah. So I think I might pick up Warpath. Yeah. With these things coming out, I was starting to think like, if they start reissuing like 4 of these a year, they might run out of mini bots. Because I'm looking at the ones that I have, because I have almost all the mini bots. 4 a year, they've only got maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5, 5 tops years worth of this. And, we're already into year 2, so.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's probably about as long as this, current line will last.
It's true, yeah. What about, so, if they do 2 more, right, if they're doing 4 a year, who would you like to see as the next 2?
Let's see. They've done Bumblebee,
Swerve, Tailgate, and
Outback. I would probably see Brawn.
Okay.
Because isn't he like Outback?
Yeah, he's the same mold.
I'm trying to think of mold reuse, because obviously Warpath, there's no mold reuse there.
Nope.
And looks like Gears is Swerve. So who used Tailgate's mold?
Windcharger.
Okay, so I could see a Windcharger and a Cliff Jumper.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I mean, I'd like to see a Huffer and a Pipes, because that'd be kind of cool. Not in the same wave, mind you, but
it seems we're not getting mold reuse in the same wave.
Which is good. I definitely think, I mean, Warpath is from 85, so they're already dipping into 85. I think I'd like to see like a Beachcomber. Beachcomber was awesome. But I'll tell you one I don't want to see. This is more of a selfish reason because I don't want mine to be worth any less, is Bumble Jumper. I
don't think that they would do that.
I desperately do not want to see a Bumble Jumper reissued. Because just because mine is, and all the other ones out there are so rare that they would bring the value of these things crashing down. So. Yeah.
Well, and the spotting a fake is going to be an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Or spotting a reissue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But DJ Running here in the chat mentions Power Glide.
Yep, that's another one.
That might be a good one. That was a fun, fiddly toy.
Yep.
So, yeah, this line does have legs for at least another wave or so.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I have one more thing this week. These are just announcements, just silhouettes. Toy World has announced a new G1 Predaking that they're calling Thunder King. And we have a silhouette of that, and then the first bot in there, which is Revolt Gear. And I know you are the Predaking guy.
I do tend to like a Predaking or two.
So it looks like this Revolt Gear is going to be Rampage. So what are your thoughts on this? Is this something you would look at picking up?
I'd have to see how it starts to look. Obviously, I mean, the pictures look pretty good. Toy World worries me right now. So I would be very, very hesitant to going into purchasing of a Toy World's product, simply just because of the fights that they've had going on with the people who left Toy World to start up Zeta Toys, and just getting product. I worried about Toy World back when they were producing that Throttlebot combiner, and did not expect it to get finished. It did, and I was able to finish mine, and that's great. But every time that they start a project like this, I worry. They just don't seem that reliable. They're getting in touch with them, and they're like their contact information and whatnot is just abysmal. They are horrible at returning emails and whatnot. So it's a worrisome thing. If I do get it, it might be one of those things that I buy all at once because it's done. And,
after the fact.
I have no worry of getting 4 out of the 5 and the 5th one is just like, no, we're not finishing it. I'd be like, you fuckers. So these are the Toy World. It's not like Mastermind Creations or Make Toys or one of the others where, you know that if they say they're going to start one, it's going to get done.
They don't have the goodwill.
Exactly. They haven't earned it. There's too much kind of bad blood in the past. And so I like the idea. I'm really rooting for them, but they have to show the goods before I'm going to cough up the cash.
Yeah, I understand. I would suspect we'll see more on this at TFCon in a few months.
I would expect so, yeah.
All right. Well, that is all that we have for toy news this week. So I guess we will move on to trips to the store. And trips to the store is the part of the show that we do on YouTube as its own segment, but we also have the audio here, and it's where we show off everything that we got in the last week. And none of us can ever remember what else Charles says, so we'll just go on to trips to the store. We don't have too much to show off this week, but I think we will start with you, Daryl. What do you got?
Oh, you're going to start with me, even though you say, yes. Oh, goodness. All right, well, I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to work my way around. I wanted to start off with, since we didn't have a lot, I went searching for a couple things here. I picked up some really cool, backboards for my comic books this week. My store has had them in for a while, but I wanted to get them just because they looked really awesome. So this is them here. They're a little expensive, but they only come in packs of 5, so I figure I could afford to get a pack of 5. It's clear. It's a clear backboard. It's 80 point, so I don't know whether you can tell there. This thing,
it looks pretty thick.
It's real thick. It's super thick. So it fits in a standard bag. So right
nice
in there.
And reflective.
Very reflective. But when you put a book in it. It looks like it's just kind of floating there. This is the book that I put in it. It's a very good Catwoman book. Adam Hughes did the cover of this. It's tit-tacular. I've got a couple others that I did here. This is a Batman shiny foil one. It looks really, really good with the ones that have no text on them. So it just looks like a piece of art there. That was Walking Dead.
I know Yoshi would probably appreciate it because I know he gets a lot of his sketch covers on both sides.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that would be great. But he would also ask you, are they acid free?
I would assume so, seeing as they're plastic. But these are, this is Spawn. Yeah, so I've done 4 of them. I've got one more to do. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in it, but like I said, I look for ones with no text or the really cool.
You should do that Savage Wolverine cover you did.
That's up on the wall right now, so I'd have to pull it down, and it's a lot of work. But I do have some toys, so I've been messing with it most of the show. Jeremy gave me some hell, and I made the people in the Donatreon's channel guess. They did not guess it. They were terrible. It is Siege Hound. I've got Siege Hound here. He's awesome. Oh, nice. He's really good. Jeremy, as a Hound fan, I think you should pick this up. It's a very good figure. It is
on my list. I was waiting to hear someone tell me it was worth a purchase.
It's very much worth the purchase. He comes with a few accessories. He's got a really interesting transformation gimmick that I'll let you figure out on your own because it's fun to do. But I really like him. He's got a really good sculpt there. You're not going to see it because my camera sucks. But no, it's a really fun figure. The other one I got to show is I picked this up this week just because I hadn't actually ever owned one, but because I've been working at the comic book store, I've just kind of picked one up this time because there's a billion of them there, but I finally got one pieced together complete, and I thought, you know what, I may not ever get the chance again to do this, so I bought a Beast Wars Optimus, and he's got everything.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's that's
an original.
Oh yeah, the original, the OG. These there are 11 parts that come off of this guy, and go into to making him complete, and all of them are there, and everything works on him. The chrome's not coming off or anything like that. So
yeah, I was about to say the chrome looks great.
Yeah, he's in really good shape. So I'm pretty happy to have him. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put him because he's huge. He's a really fun figure to have, and I took some pictures and posted them on Twitter with the comparison between this one and the new one, the Power of the Primes one. There's some very good similarities, but I think the original still kind of takes it as being a better optimal Optimus. But obviously, it doesn't have an inner, primal, so it's still kind of wins in its own special way. But it's a pretty cool figure too. But that's what I brought this week, Jeremy. Back to you.
All right. Well, I don't have anything new. And I think I've shown this off before, but, the boss is gone, so...
Is it Pez?
No, it's not Pez. It is from the company Antex, and it is...
Cheese?
A Robocar Volks. This is a red Bumblebee from Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
My wife actually picked this up for me when we were dating, and for whatever reason, she was at a comic show or toy show. I think she picked it up for like $25, which 10 years ago, I'm sure this is worth more now. But this is officially licensed from the 80s from Argentina. And I'm sure if you understood Spanish, you could translate. This would probably translate to much the same as Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
I have obviously not taken it off the card, but the card's not in good shape, and I think one of the stickers has come through a little hole here. But I still like this guy. I like that. It's unique. It's a red Bumblebee. It's not a Bumble Jumper. But
would you say that's probably one of the coolest things you own?
Yeah. I mean, this is in the top probably 3 figures I have in my collection, just mostly for the story behind it.
Of course.
But
sheer obscurity value.
Yeah, and it's one of the more unique things I have.
Damn right. I think that's awesome. That's a really cool figure. Yeah. Right on.
I would love to get another red Bumblebee figure where I could maybe get this in one of those cases, to keep it in good shape, and then have the actual figure beside it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's really cool. I think you've done well with just kind of keeping it the way it is. It's too bad that the sticker fell off, but you weren't going to really be able to help it anyway.
Right. And I love that logo, that Transformers logo that they used.
Mm-hmm.
It's so strange. I mean, it's like you're obviously a licensed thing. Why did you do your own logo?
What's it called again?
Robocar Volks. I'm guessing Robocar. I don't know if that was mini bots or something, but
spell Volks for me.
Volks.
S. Okay.
And I mean, this does say on the back, Argentina is the country.
Just looking it up on eBay. Oh shit! Here you go.
It's probably worth more than the $25 my wife paid.
I would say so. There you go. Put it in the host chat or in the Donatrons chat for you. Exact same damn thing you got.
Yeah, and that one actually looks like it's in worse shape. I think that's the sticker that came off on mine is probably common.
Yeah,
because this one also doesn't have it.
Well, it's unpunched at the top as well too, though. So.
Oh, wait, yeah, mine is.
Yeah, it's unsold, but yeah, still.
Yeah, but they're asking starting bid at $80. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. No, I think that's really cool. That's a really cool piece. I got one here that's sold for that too, though. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool piece. I'm jealous.
Well, yeah, I really need to get one of those protective boxes for figures on cards.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our trip to the store this week. All right, we are back from the trip to the store, and let's move on to some convention news. All right, we have one thing in convention news this week, and that is that Transformers designer Eric Siebenaler is going to be attending TFCon Los Angeles. He worked for Hasbro for many years. He was on the brand team from 2002 through 2010 on the Transformers side. He was one of the main forces behind the animated toys and adapting the animation and the movie designs into their toy forms. He also worked on Armada, Energon, and Cybertron product lines. And so, I mean, if you follow the Transformers brand for a while, you probably have heard his name. So that's pretty good get for TFCon.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. He's one of those people that we'd love to talk to because of the the toy aspect of it all.
Yeah, we haven't really had any mainline toy designers on the show.
Yeah,
if only we had someone that was going to be there that could at least get us some contact information.
Exactly.
Maybe Gabe can help us Well, that is it for convention news this week. So let's move on to some feedback.
All right, in feedback this week, we got a couple emails. One is from our good friend Augustin. He is in Denmark, and he wanted to let us know that he was really happy that we reported on the bankruptcy of Top Toy in the Nordic countries. He was saying that while he lives in Denmark, Toys R Us was going out of business in the U.S. It seemed like it flourished there. The toy company Top Toy held the license and the name Toys R Us, and they opened some wonderful, huge toy outlets throughout Denmark in recent years. What he loved about them was that they had quite a decent selection of Transformers, which was seemingly unheard of but beforehand. But recently there was, so recently they closed up, and now he's having a hard time finding them. There was another store that called BR, just the letters BR, and it's now closing its doors as well. And they were also owned by this company, Top Toy. So it seems like it's going to be becoming a lot more difficult for people, just regular Joes, to go to the store and buy Transformers there. Augustin goes on to say that before he had the opportunity to go to the toy stores, he would use eBay, and prices weren't that bad. So he looks like he's going back to eBay, which it's a little unfortunate to hear, but if you need to get them one way, you're going to figure out how to do it. So thank you for writing in, Augustin. We're very happy that you're happy about our reporting. We're just, reading news here. We're sad to hear about the stores going under in Denmark and the other Nordic countries, but it seems to be the way that it's going, except in Canada. Sorry, I had to throw that in. But it's online shopping is just it's just killing everything. So I don't know what the background information is on this Top Toy and what they might have done, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and he sent us a couple pictures. He sent us a ton of pictures, but most of them have his kids in them. So we're not going to share those, but he sent us a couple pictures of a closed Toys R Us storefront. It looks like it might be in a mall or something.
Looks like it.
So we'll put those in the show notes.
Yeah. And then we got another email from Dual Mirrored Gridwork, and he goes on to say that he's been watching Bobby Skullface's reviews recently, and that he's really digging them, and he wants to know, if you took what Hasbro Takara have done and include what third-party companies have done, how close could you complete each of the TV seasons and or characters that line in that scale? So I'm assuming he's going and saying, if you took everybody who's doing Legends scale characters, could you come up with a full line of characters for each TV season? Well, I think they're all doing a lot of really good work to try and do that, DMG. I think there's obviously some figures that are missing, but their Legend scale third-party stuff is still fairly new. I think it's only been out, only been a couple companies that have been doing it for a few years now. So when you look at the grand scheme of third-party and that kind of stuff, third-party's pretty old. So I think you got to give them a few more years to kind of really, get the full G1, line out. But
I think the problem though is they're only going to do the popular characters.
Of course.
So there will be characters that they know are not going to sell, and they're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a problem if you're going to try to complete a whole season. Yeah.
Yeah. So the scale seems to be, fairly common. Legends scale is the term that they use to describe them. So they're all going to be pretty much in that scale. If you're worried, though, stick to one company. They're going to do their figures in one scale, and they'll all be in scale with each other. So there's going to be a lot of figures that are missed, But yeah, I don't know if there's a percentage that I could give you. I don't think you'll ever get to a full TV season worth of characters.
Yeah, if you have a character that only showed up in like 1 or 2 episodes, chances are they probably won't do that figure.
Yeah.
But you'll get like 10 Starscreams.
Oh yeah. Anyway, that's the last of the feedback. If you do have feedback, please send it in to us. Like Jeremy has said prior, you can send it to us via the website, where you can write it to us in regards to each individual show, or you can use our widget to send us voicemail, which are almost guaranteed to get on the show. So if you want to get on the show, record your voice saying something, and let us know what you what
also
you think.
Saves us from
doing a
messing
lot of
up
reading
as we're trying to read.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to us and let us know what you think. You can always email us directly at feedback@transmissions.com. Transmissionspodcast.com. Yeah. You can use our Twitters. Those are all available on Twitter. Look those up, and yeah, that's it.
All right. And also, I would like to say, if you'd like to support us, you can go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and there are links there to join us on Patreon or just donate directly via PayPal. You can also support us by going to our TeePublic store at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And if you'd like to subscribe, if you go to transmissionspodcast.com/subscribe, that will have links for everywhere we are: iTunes, Google Podcast. I guess I should have said Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher. We're on Spotify. So we are most places. So check us out there, and also join us in Discord. If you go to transmissionspodcast.com/Discord, they'll have a link to our Discord server, which has people chatting all the time about Transformers and other stuff. We have some special rooms that are just for people that donate to us on PayPal or Patreon, but most of the channels in there are open for everybody. And Daryl just added one for talk specifically for the Transformers trading card game. If you want to talk Bumblebee movie spoilers, there's a channel for that. So yeah, just join us, and it's a great time. So with that, I will thank everyone for listening, and talk to you next week. Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Oh, you're going to have to stop playing with your toy.
That's asking a lot. Oh, they left you all with me, have they? You guys all giving us money? Yes. Yes. You've all paid your dues. Yes. You get to listen to the fun podcast. Yes. Dance, monkey, dance. What to show today? New toys. New toys. Can anyone guess what I'm going to show today? I have one toy. One toy. Take a guess. No, I have two. Sorry, I have two toys. Take a guess. Jeremy might have Krispy Kremes. I don't have any Krispy Kremes. Tim Hortons beat their asses out. Do not break the toy before you can show it off. You need to show it on the show for tax purposes. There we go. Ready to show on the show. Must get other toy. Much bigger.